We are not preparing our students for the future. Over the next 12 months, what will have the biggest long-term effect on Queensland students? Our governments, politicians, economy, industry, welfare, and creativity are all in stagnation. Our schools even more so. But they don't have to be. We have a choice. Education in this country has been in stagnation for too long. Now is the time to be brave and change that with our schools right here and right now. From the lowest to the highest, we have a duty to give our students the best opportunities and the best choices. We need to go as far as we can and take others with us. We should want to hear our students say, "I am capable of anything, but I choose this." You are an expert, but I have enough knowledge to question your reasoning. This is not how we work anymore. This is how we work. I am the future, and you can learn from me. The potential for ICT in the classroom and for the future of our country is incredible. Science fiction is rapidly becoming science fact. What I've just shown you is dreaming. But these are the real technologies that apply to the real world now. This is what we have access to. This is the future now.
Welcome to Windows Holographic. This is Life with Holograms. And as you can see, Darren has customized his space. Instead of digging through menus, everything is right where he wants it.
Yeah, whether it's Microsoft Edge, Photos, or video apps, these are simply universal Windows apps that we've placed as holograms. So, whether it's a slate on the wall, or something a little bit more dimensional, like my loyal companion Fang here, hey buddy, you can customize your space the way you want it. Now, I want to add something to my space, so I'm going to pull up my holographic start menu, and I'm going to open up Skype. I'm the worst at keeping in touch, so I'm going to take the people that matter most to me, and I'm going to pin them to this wall right here. That way, every time I walk into this room, I'll see their smiling faces and be inspired to reach out to them.
Architects are dealing with shapes and spaces and light, and they dream in 3D. And then you need to translate this design into a set of 2D documents. HoloLens present a completely new paradigm. Trimble provides design solutions for architects and structural engineers.
Anything that involves getting dirty is our business. Literally hundreds of enterprises can be represented on a job site. Today, the best way those companies have to interact with each other is paper drawings. But people aren't good at visualizing 3D.
Microsoft HoloLens is a head-mounted, self-contained computer that lets you see holograms in the real world.
You get the physical model as a focus point for the team to collaborate around. And you get the hologram with the flexibility, with the ability to run quick iterations.
You'll see how we've brought in the courtyard that you suggested. You see that mouse go off the screen and into holographic space, and you're then interacting with the hologram with the mouse.
the thing that we can do for architects is really give them much higher confidence around decision making. One way we can do that is we can allow them to literally immerse themselves in the scene that they're building and see street side how the building's going to look.
Visualizing design data in the context of the real environment is a much better way to make sure that the design is implemented correctly on site.
Microsoft HoloLens allows you to collaborate with somebody regardless of distance, like they were there. Hello there.
Hey Igor, where they're trying to put this door, there's a beam behind here.
I'm looking at this beam. We're interacting with it about a problem that we can see and being able to solve that problem with all the data that we need in front of us in real time.
Let's take a look at the center of the cardiovascular system, the heart. It's an amazing organ. In reality, it's about the size of your fist. With HoloLens, we can easily scale up the heart to let students see minute details. We can even see inside the heart to see the valves in action. This is a new way of seeing things, and it has the potential to help students understand the structure and physiology of the body in a way that's just not possible today. Now, what you've just seen is a vision of how HoloLens could enhance one single subject. But as an educator, it's easy for me to see that it's not just anatomy that could benefit from this technology. This could change how everyone learns.
If we have all the information in the world at our fingertips, all of the time, then we must train all students how to harness this knowledge and how to put it to use. We need to produce creative and innovative students who can take their futures and ours and enhance them. So let's get started. Let's go. Let's not waste any more time. Here is what we can do now with a little bravery and being industrious.
Let's look at some project. So this one is a quadcopter. It's a small model helicopter. In a way, it's a toy, no? And so this one was military technology a few years ago. And now it's open source, easy to use. You can buy it online. DIY Drones is the community. They do this thing called Arducopter. But then somebody actually launched this startup called Matternet, where they figured out that you could use these to actually transport things from one village to another in Africa.
I'm getting a little sick of hearing about the same people on TV over and over and over again, so I decided to do something about it. This Arduino project, which I called the Enough Already, will mute the TV anytime any of these overexposed personalities is mentioned.
Or it can be used to make assistive device. This is a glove that understands the sign language and transforms the gestures that you make into sounds and writes the words that you're signing on a display. This device that allows the kids to play baseball, although it has limited movement capability. So this is the TXT bomber. So you put a message into this device, and then you roll it on the wall, and it basically has all these solenoids pressing the buttons on spray cans. So you just pull it over a wall, and it just writes on the wall all the political messages. This is called botanicals, because there's an Arduino board with a Wi-Fi module in the plant, and it's measuring the well-being of the plant, and it's creating a Twitter account where you can actually interact with the plant. So, this plant will start to say, this is really hot, or like, there's a lot of, that I need water right now. Or this is a 14-year-old kid in Chile who made a system that detects earthquakes and publishes on Twitter. He has 280,000 followers, he's 14, and he anticipated a governmental project by 1 year. When the Fukushima disaster happened, a bunch of people in Japan, they realized that the information that the government was giving wasn't really sort of open and really reliable, so they built this Geiger counter plus Arduino plus network interface. They made 100 of them and gave them to people around Japan, and essentially the data that they gather gets published on this website called COSM, another website they built, so you can actually get reliable, real-time information from the field, and you can get unbiased information. So the group of people that started this company called Pebble, they prototyped a watch that communicates via Bluetooth with your phone, and you can display information on it. And they prototyped with an old LCD screen from a Nokia mobile phone and an Arduino. And then when they had a final project, they actually went to Kickstarter, and they were asking for $100,000 to make a few of them to sell. They got $10 million. They got a completely fully funded startup, and they don't have to, get VCs involved or anything, just excited people with their great project. It's a satellite that goes into space, which is probably the least open source thing you can imagine. And it contains an Arduino connected to a bunch of sensors. So if you know how to use Arduino, you can actually upload your experiments into this satellite and run them. So imagine if you as a high school can have the satellite for a week and do satellite, space experiments like that.
This is a Raspberry Pi. It's a credit card-sized computer that costs around £25, designed to teach young people to program, and is capable of doing all kinds of wonderful things. Back in the 80s, kids had to learn how to code computers to use them, and as a result, these kids grew up with an inbuilt understanding of how computers work. Now, we need more programmers than ever before. So to deal with this problem, some clever people came up with the Raspberry Pi to reignite the spark. It runs Linux, a free operating system from an SD card, just like the one in your digital camera, and it's powered by a USB phone charger. You just plug in a mouse and a keyboard, connect it to a TV or monitor, and you're ready to go. In schools, not only is Raspberry Pi a great way to learn programming skills as part of ICT, there are also dozens of cross-curricular applications, like science, and music. And all over the world, people are experimenting with Raspberry Pis and attending Raspberry Jam events, where people of all ages are learning what can be done with a Raspberry Pi. Since the first Raspberry Pi was shipped, we've seen examples of people using the Pi in a variety of amazing and interesting projects, taking advantage of its size, portability, cost, programmability, and connectability. So whether you want to learn to make games, build robots, or even teach a bear to parachute, with Raspberry Pi, the sky's the limit.
I'm Jay.
And I'm Eric. We're graduate students at MIT Media Lab.
We have a dream that everyone is an inventor.
So we created Makey Makey to let you invent just by alligator clipping. Alligator clip stuff like bananas to your Makey Makey. When you touch the banana, your computer just thinks you're touching the keyboard. The front has arrow keys, spacebar, and mouse left click. When you're ready for more, flip the Makey Makey over and you've got more keyboard keys and support for the mouse. You can even use the board like an Arduino when you are ready. No programming, no breadboarding. You don't even have to install software. Just plug it in USB.
Order your Makey Makey today and start changing how the world works.
Boing, 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 doo-doo, ding, ding.